We all know about T-Rex and Velociraptor. They're the well-known ones of the prehistoric world, the ones everyone always talks about. But what about the ones that time forgot? Predators so weird, so unsettling, they almost don't even seem real. These aren't just forgotten fossils, they were real, living creatures that once dominated their worlds. And the more we learn about them, the stranger they get. Some of them make even dinosaurs look tame. Some of them will make you glad that they're extinct. Sharks have always been terrifying, but Helicoprion was on a whole different level of weird. This prehistoric predator swam the oceans around 270 million years ago during the late Carboniferous and early Permian periods. And if you saw one coming, you probably wouldn't even understand what you were looking at until it was too late. Unlike any sharks alive today, Helicoprion had a bizarre spiral-shaped whorl of teeth in its lower jaw, almost like a circular saw blade. This structure, known as tooth whorl, was a mystery to scientists for over a century. Early reconstructions were downright ridiculous. Some depicted the spiral sticking out of its snout like a horn, while others imagined unrolling from its mouth like a party blower. But as more fossils were analyzed, paleontologists discovered that the entire saw-like structure was inside the mouth, rolling forward as new teeth grew and old ones were pushed deeper into the jaw. So, how did it hunt? Unlike great white sharks, which use a powerful bite to tear into prey, Helicoprion had no upper teeth, just a spiraling lower whorl. This suggests that instead of chomping down with crushing force, it snapped its jaws shut like a trap, dragging soft-bodied prey backward into its throat. Scientists believe it's primarily fed on squid, fish, and other creatures without hard shells or bones, since its teeth weren't designed for crushing. But despite its dominance, Helicoprion eventually disappeared. So what happened? Its extinction is linked to one of the most devastating events in Earth's history, the Permian-Triassic extinction, also known as the Great Dying. Around 252 million years ago, massive volcano eruptions in what is now Siberia triggered a catastrophic chain reaction. Global temperatures skyrocketed, ocean chemistry changed, and nearly 90% of marine species were wiped out. Helicoprion, adapted to a specific diet and environment, likely couldn't survive the drastic changes. The loss of its primary food sources, combined with increasing competition from newer, more adaptable predators, sealed its fate. Unlike some shark relatives that managed to evolve and persist, Helicoprion vanished into extinction, leaving behind only its haunting spiral-toothed fossils. Today, its remains continue to baffle and fascinate scientists, standing as a reminder that nature has produced some truly nightmarish designs, ones we're lucky we never had to encounter in the flesh. Imagine stepping into shallow water expecting nothing more than a few harmless fish, when suddenly a massive armored creature rises from the depths. Long striated claws lash out, and before you can react, you're being dragged beneath the surface. Thankfully, you'll never have to experience this horror firsthand, but 390 million years ago, such an encounter would not have been out of the question. Meet Jaekelopterus, the giant sea scorpion. This absolute nightmare of an arthropod lived during the Devonian period, and was one of the largest arthropods to have ever existed. How big was it? It was over 8 feet long. That's bigger than pretty much every single human to ever exist. Jaekelopterus belonged to a group called the Eurypterids, ancient relatives of modern scorpions and horseshoe crabs. Unlike those creatures, Jaekelopterus was an active, powerful predator, and its most terrifying feature? Its massive spiked pincers, which could have been used to grab fish, smaller eurypterids, and anything else unlucky to cross its path. Some scientists believe it used its pincers to crush and tear prey apart, while others suggest it may have been used more like traps, quickly snapping shut on anything within reach. Either way, this thing was a top-tier predator built to dominate the ancient waterways. But for all its power, Jaekelopterus eventually vanished. Its downfall came during the late Devonian extinction, a series of environmental catastrophes that wiped out a significant chunk of life in the oceans. As fish evolved into larger, faster, and better armored forms, the balance of power shifted. Giant armored fish like the notorious Dunkleosteus emerged, and they were not only tougher, but also more aggressive predators. These new fish likely outcompeted Jaekelopterus, and as marine ecosystems changed, Eurypterids as a whole began to decline. By the time the Devonian period ended, Jaekelopterus and many of its relatives were gone. The sea scorpions that survived were smaller and less dominant and eventually fading into extinction. But their fossils remain, proof that long before dinosaurs or even sharks ruled the world, there was a time when 8-foot scorpions were the ultimate killers of the deep. Imagine a creature that combined the deadly traits of a crocodile with the ferocity of a wild boar. Caprisuchus, often called the Boar Crocodile, was one of the most bizarre and terrifying predators of the late Cretaceous period, living around 95 to 100 million years ago. Though it was technically a crocodile, Caprisuchus wasn't like any modern croc we know of today. Instead, it was a highly adaptable predator capable of hunting both in water and on land. One of its most striking features were the 3 pairs of long, tusk-like teeth protruding from its upper jaw. These teeth resembled those of a wild boar, giving its nickname, Boar Croc. These tusks were longer than those of any known crocodile, and their length meant that Caprisuchus couldn't fully close its mouth unless its teeth slid into special grooves in its jaw. This adaptation was crucial for catching and holding onto prey, particularly when it needed to grip animals on land or in water. The only known fossil of Caprisuchus was discovered in 2009 in Niger. From this single fossil skull, scientists have pieced together much of what we know about this extraordinary creature. Unlike modern crocodiles whose eyes are positioned on top of their heads to spy on prey underwater, Caprisuchus had forward-facing eyes, suggesting that it had that perception. This adaptation likely allowed it to run after prey on land, making it one of the few crocodilian species able to hunt on both land and in water. What truly sets Caprisuchus apart is its long legs, especially its hind legs, which would have been capable of running at speeds of up to 40 kilometers an hour. This made it one of the fastest reptiles of its time, able to chase down land-based prey with frightening efficiency. Imagine this terrifying predator sprinting through the landscape, hunting anything within its reach before dragging it into the water to drown. Despite its remarkable adaptations, Caprisuchus is a subject of fascination in illustrations, video games, and movies. Today, Caprisuchus is remembered as one of the most bizarre and terrifying creatures of the prehistoric world, a true apex predator that roamed both land and water with ease. Arthropleura, an extinct genus of massive theropods, once dominated Earth's ecosystem millions of years ago. Living from the Vician age of the Carboniferous period to the Silurian age of the Permian period, around 346 to 293 million years ago, this giant millipede-like creature was one of the largest arthropods to ever walk the Earth. At lengths exceeding 2.6 meters, it was as large as an adult alligator, truly a giant of its time. Unlike modern millipedes, which are relatively small and harmless, Arthropleura was a formidable creature, measuring up to 2.6 meters long and having between 32 and 64 legs. Its body consisted of around 30 jointed segments, each covered by 3 hard plates. This exoskeleton, along with many legs, gave it an appearance that was both familiar and utterly alien. Fossilized remains have been found across 60 sites in 13 countries. The discovery of fossilized trackways measuring more than 50 centimeters wide has helped paleontologists understand just how massive this creature was. The largest and most complete Arthropleura fossil on record was found in 2018 in England. This specimen, weighing 80 kilograms and measuring 76 centimeters long, is considered to represent only a part of the animal's exoskeleton. Such discoveries shed light on the size and structure of this prehistoric giant. As for its diet, Arthropleura was likely herbivorous, consuming plant material like seeds and decaying wood. Some evidence suggests it may have fed on ferns and club mosses, but this remains inconclusive. Other researchers believe that such a large arthropod would have needed to consume more than just plant matter and might have eaten invertebrates or small amphibians. Its habitat was probably humid, as Arthropleura is often associated with cool swamps from the Carboniferous period, though later fossils suggest it may have lived in open woodlands or near rivers. But what allowed Arthropleura to grow to such a large size? During the Carboniferous period, Earth's atmosphere had much higher oxygen levels than today, which could have fueled the growth of arthropods. But maybe some other factors like their ecosystem probably played a role too. Arthropleura is a reminder of the bizarre and awe-inspiring creatures that once walked our planet. Its immense size, strange features, and mysterious diet leaves us with many questions about the ancient world and the forces that shaped it. Tully Monstrum gregarium, better known as the Tully Monster, is one of the most mysterious and bizarre creatures from Earth's prehistoric oceans. It lived around 300 million years ago during the Pennsylvanian period. Despite its peculiar appearance and uncertain classification, the Tully Monster likely played an important role in its ecosystem of its time. One of the most distinctive features of the Tully Monster was its elongated eel-like body, which could reach up to 30 centimeters in length. Its body was soft and segmented, giving flexibility and maneuverability. However, the creature's most unique characteristic was its long, pointed proboscis that extended from its head. This appendage likely served as a tool for hunting or foraging, allowing the Tully Monster to probe through mud, sand, or plant debris in search of food. The Tully Monster was likely a bottom dweller, living in the shallow, sediment-rich waters where it could use its proboscis to swift through sediment or capture small prey. It probably fed on soft-bodied marine life such as worms, mollusks, or other invertebrates, which it could snare with its proboscis. Some scientists also hypothesized that it might have scavenged on decaying plant matter or small dead animals using its proboscis to search through the ocean's floor's detritus. Despite its alien-like appearance, the Tully Monster was well adapted to its environment. Its flexible body and tail likely allowed it to swim in shallow waters, though it may have preferred to crawl along the ocean floor. Its proboscis would have been an efficient tool for feeding, whether by hunting or scavenging. Although much about its behavior remains speculative, the Tully Monster is a prime example of strange and diverse life forms that once populated Earth's ancient seas. Its bizarre feature and uncertain classification continue to intrigue paleontologists, offering a glimpse into the complexity of prehistoric life. The ancient world was home to creatures so strange and unique that they almost seem unbelievable. While many of us are familiar with the famous dinosaurs that roamed the Earth, it's lesser-known prehistoric beings that often steal the show when it comes to the truly bizarre. These creatures were far from ordinary. Some were massive, others were equipped with strange appendages, and some had abilities that seemed to defy the natural world. The more we learn about these forgotten animals, the more we realize just how diverse and unpredictable life once was. These creatures challenge our understanding of evolution and remind us of that life on Earth always has been a strange, unpredictable journey. There's still so much to uncover, and who knows what other jaw-dropping discoveries awaits us beneath the surface.